guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be something that has been requested for so many years, ever since my cousins and I introduced Hijabi talks to my channel. I cannot tell you how many times I get DMs for bringing it back. So we have a little special edition of Hijabi talks in today's video. And actually part 1 is going to be on my brother and my cousin Sarah's podcast, the Cousin Connection podcast. So if you guys want to check out their part over there, it's on their YouTube channel, and they actually have the full podcast also on all their streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, or is it Apple Podcast? I don't really know, but it's everywhere. I will have all the information below. I want to keep this intro brief, but if you guys are coming over from the Cousin Connection pod, hello, my name is Aysha. I'm Amir's sister and Sarah's first cousin. And yeah, I'm so excited for you guys to see this continuation of the podcast episode. So enjoy. I think Gen Z hijabis have it easier growing up in the West than your generation did growing up.
1,000%.
Yeah, so for sure.
They have so many more like role models that are like, you know, out there. Like you're a perfect example of one.
Yeah, like I wish I had someone like that looked like me, you know, growing up.
I'm trying to think about it. Like, who did we have when we grew up?
No one.
We had each other.
Yeah, we had each other. Yeah.
We really had nobody though.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, we had nobody to look up to.
No one.
Like,
our moms.
literally pop stars.
Yeah. That's it. JoJo, Demi Lovato, like literally
Hillary
those were people.
Duff,
There was no one, you know, that we could look up to. But yeah, it's definitely much easier. I think also just in terms of access, like before it was hard to even find like fashionable hijabs or like hijabs in different colors, different textures, all that. Like the only thing we had were Charlotte, what was it called?
CK hijabs.
CK hijabs or like pashminas from that one store. I forget what it's called. Le Chateau. You know, those thick ass pashminas.
Oh my God.
Stuff like that. I think also even like, you know, I play a lot of sports growing up and actually made a TikTok on this. And I just sat and thought, I'm like, people that grow up in this generation, they don't have to think about like, oh, where can I find a sports hijab? Like Nike makes them, Adidas, Lululemon, there's all these brands that make them. And it's like, I wore my CK hijab like that literally smelled like shit by the end of all my rugby practices because that's the only one I had. Like I didn't have options, you know? So I think just like accessibility isn't much better. Obviously visibility, like you can find people who look like you on the internet, which means other people who are not Muslim or hijabi or black or anything that looks like you, they can also see those people. So it's not just like you're this random like hijabi they've never seen before, you know.
I mean, I'm happy for them. Like,
yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah,
that's
like
what I'm saying. It's great.
Yeah.
I think you guys also forgot about the part where it's harder to discriminate because nowadays people can be canceled so quickly.
Yeah,
they would be
that's true.
Less willing to try.
I think it's possible, but it's less likely to happen.
Yeah, which is definitely positive.
Yeah, I know, of course.
Yeah, like I don't even think this is entirely related, but it just like popped into my head and I had to tell it because I think about this at least once a month and it like makes me upset. Like, so I was in I think it was grade 1 or grade 2. And you know how we used to have like pizza parties? So also back then, I don't know if you guys had the same experience, but like no one could believe that there were black Muslims. What? Like I would get asked all the time. They were like, how are you Muslim? You're black. Like I would get asked that all the time in school, right? So we had a pizza party and they had some cheese pizza, but majority pepperoni. So, and there was this one brown girl in the class and like she was Muslim. And I remember the teacher, I took the last cheese slice or something. And then the teacher came up to me and she's like, hey, actually, can you take, I'll take off the pepperonis, but can you have this one instead? Because this other girl needs it because she can't, like, she's Muslim. And I'm like, well, I'm Muslim. And she was like, oh, yeah, but, like, she's, like, Muslim. Like, I don't, she said something like that. And I was like, and she gave me the pepperoni slice. And I just didn't end up eating anything. So it's, like, stuff like that. It's, like, there's just so much more visibility. It's, like, it's not abnormal to see black Muslims now, you know?
Yeah.
Or, like, not that it was back then. Just people were just extremely ignorant.
I feel like I went through an identity crisis in, like, grade 9.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm considered black.
Yeah, I know.
And so I would tell people that I was brown.
What?
I got away with that, so I went with that too.
I honestly, like, I feel like the identity crisis that I went through, it lasted for many years. So yeah, it took me a little while to fully embrace like who I was.
But on the flip side, I feel like Gen Z Muslims now, like, they have their whole lives on the internet. So the quote unquote mistakes that they make early on, the mistakes that they make early on when they're super young, like, they can get canceled really early, and like it can affect their journey, like in their deen, you know, like instead of encouraging them, people might discourage them, because people can be really rude on the internet, you know, like, so I don't know. It's tough being a Gen Z Muslim right now, I think. But obviously there's a lot of benefits to it too. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do, but I think that's the more like harsh or like negative part of it.
yeah.
But I don't think it's as
there's more benefits to it for sure.
yeah,
Being
but
a
I
Gen
think
Z Muslim.
only if you're extremely visible on the internet, have some sort of following, or a video goes viral, that's when you'll get stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'd say the average experience isn't like that.
Really?
I mean, like for me, I don't even get that many
really?
negative comments like that, you know?
Okay, that's good.
So I'm like, the average person, I don't think that's what they're worried about in
Yeah.
terms of,
Okay, that's good.
I just feel like it's easier,
yeah,
you know?
probably.
Before we get into the next question, we're just going to take a little break. We'll be right back. And we're back.
Yay.
Round 2 with the questions.
So someone said, I don't know if this is going to be relevant to us, but someone said, thoughts on Muzmatch. There are no Muslim men in my area, and it's tempting to use. It's like a Muslim dating app. Yeah.
I mean,
We could just keep it as thoughts on Muslim dating apps in general.
You guys should have so much to say about this, because you guys are always trying to pressure me to do this. I'll be quiet now. Okay?
I'm dead.
These guys are so bad about it.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. She just said thoughts on it. There's no Muslim men in my area, and it's tempting to use.
Well, I mean, how would she know that if she didn't go on? Like, I feel like you should go on and see.
No, I mean, like, I think in person, there's no Muslim men in her area, so she's trying to use it to meet Muslim men that
Okay,
are not in her area.
I say, like,
Because there's none.
I think you should go on, see what there is out there, and obviously, if you see people on there, you can kind of get a gauge of what's in your area, because you can set it up to like your area, or if you want to do like long distance, you can set it to the country or whatever it is. But I feel like if you don't date a lot, or you don't know what you're into or what you are interested in, I definitely think like you should go on. You don't have to expect that you're gonna find your soulmate on there, but it's good to like kind of talk and get to know people,
See what you like,
see what you like, what you don't, and just go from there. I don't know.
I think I've personally heard more horror stories than I have good stories over Muslim dating apps, or Muslim marriage apps, I guess I should say. But I also, I mean, one of my really good friends met her now husband on a Muslim dating app. So I forget which one it was. It was either Muzmatch or what is now known as Salams. But so yeah, I think just try to. I mean, it's hard to say like what our thoughts are, because everyone's gonna have a unique experience on a app like that. So I think just try it. I mean, there's literally nothing to lose.
I think it also works with like what style of dating you're into. Like, some people just like to text, some people need to meet in person, or like they have better communication when they see people in person. And if you're that type of person, like, online dating apps might not work for you, because one, there's just so many people on there, and you can't meet everybody. Like, you can't be like, oh yeah, let's go out for coffee. Like, every person's gonna ask you out for coffee. So you would need to be able to communicate through text and whatever. And if you are not that person, then these online dating apps are not for you.
Well
if
said.
you are able to get past that and like weave out the bad ones and find someone that you're willing to meet up in person, then yeah, you can try it out and see how it works for you.
That was well said. I literally had nothing to add to that.
Yeah. Okay. A positive for a change. What are some green flags in a man?
Ooh.
I want to hear this.
Some green flags. I feel like we talk about red flags all the time.
I know we do,
but not so much green flags.
Yeah.
There's a lot of green flags. Someone who communicates, someone who's honest, someone who's trustworthy. Like there's
I think someone who's understanding, cuz
understanding, empathetic. You know, a lot of people, that's a very rare quality to have, especially in guys. I'm sorry. But empathy.
Why are you apologizing? Why are you apologizing?
No, it's just I don't want to slander the men. Like
that was those, you know, slander.
Yeah, there's a lot of green flags.
I think a more superficial green flag is a man that doesn't live at home. I mean, I just called all the men out in this place. Listen, the women know what I mean, okay?
Yeah.
Listen, we love all of you.
I think it depends on their age, where their status and like where they are in life, you know,
and like the reason why they're so
like there could be
understanding.
sometimes.
Yeah, like I think
that's what I said. It's superficial.
Sometimes
it's
it could be like a cultural thing,
but it's necessary.
Because you guys know, like within our culture, usually, you know, whether it's the men or women, they don't often move out.
I don't know though. Is it our culture? Because all our fathers moved out and left the country.
They didn't have a choice though.
Second
That's
generation.
But they made it work. I mean, yeah, but they still left. They made a life for themselves.
But I think they were escaping. Yeah, like that's a different circumstance. I think.
Also, economically, it doesn't make sense to move out if you have the option.
I'm not talking about economical. I told you this was superficial. This is just a green flag for me, okay? It doesn't have to make sense to everyone. Just like some red flags don't have to make sense to everyone.
No, but I mean, I get where you're coming from, and I think that definitely, it's like one of those, you know, there's like tiers to the green flag.
Okay, wait. Let me reiterate this. I've been divorced. So I think for me, my green flags are very different from people who have not been divorced yet. For me, I think it goes based on experience. And for experience, that is one of my green flags.
Yeah, that's fair. So that's why I was saying, like, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I think, like, for someone who, you know, maybe hasn't been married before.
Yeah. And
maybe they live at home. It's like, how can you expect?
I don't, though.
But that's why I'm saying I get, that's why I understand. Yeah. Like, if I lived on my own, I think I would probably look for a man who also lives on his own.
Okay, yeah.
Like, that's how I would view it. I think a lot of times when you're looking for green flags in other people, like, you have to also possess those qualities, because why are you looking for things that you don't even have yourself, you know? Yeah. So that's how I feel about green flags.
I just wanted to throw something interesting into the mix other than empathy, good person, kind, trustworthy. That's very great. Great green flags, but boring. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if you have specific ones.
I mean, I would say someone who's just very intentional in what they do.
That's a good one. I like that.
What else?
I think, elaborate on that, because that's actually a very good one.
Like, okay, someone who pays attention, and whenever they do something, it's like, it's not just out of coincidence, but like they thought about it, they put an effort into what they are trying to do, and like whether it's in the pursuit of a relationship or even in marriage or whatever, like everything they do, they put intention and effort into it. That is definitely a green flag. Yeah. Again, just like the pay attention part, like just I think for me, I like when people notice. Like, I'm that type, I think. I notice things about people, and like I like play on that, like, oh, you like certain thing, let me like do this for you. And I think that's also just like my love language of like how I show my love is like acts of service or whatever. But like, I think if it's reciprocated, that would be a green flag for me.
It's a good one. Yeah. I like the intentional one, because that's so important. I feel like, especially, and we got a lot of questions about like not necessarily just how to find a man, but how to start dating, how to start talking, how to start knowing, if someone's good for you. I think intention is extremely important, because there's been so many times where like a man will want to pursue you, but there's no intention behind it. It's just because he thinks you're a pretty face, or it's what's it called? It fits into his life at the moment.
It's very surface level.
Very surface level. There's nothing behind that. And I think if you're a woman who is looking for something to end in a marriage, intention is so important. And as soon as you find a man that like, or as soon as you notice a quality in a man where like he doesn't seem like he's intentional about anything, like it's just, you need to figure that out immediately. Like, what is your intention in talking to me? Because we don't need any more male friends. Like, why? Like,
True.
I have enough friends.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you guys have men who come up to you being like, without saying right away, like, I'm going to, this is in pursuit of marriage or something?
I mean, I think it's a little weird if you don't know them and they come up to you and they're like, I want to marry you, so let's get to know. Like, I would be like, no.
It's like someone that's been in your DMs for a year just to chat. Oh, how was your day? Oh, like, oh, cool trip. Talking about random things. Why are you talking to me? What's the reason? Like, maybe that's just me.
They're playing the long game, Aysha. Come on. You should know this. Guys, is that not true? If you're randomly reacting to someone's stories on Instagram for a long period of time, is that the long game, or like what's your reason?
That's a red flag for me, the long game. If you want me, you need to tell me you want me. If not, I don't got time for that. I'm too busy. And you should be too. I don't know.
That's true.
No,
but I agree.
Playing the long game does really get you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about it right now. If you saw a woman that you wanted, would you play the long game with them? If you wanted that woman. Exactly, because you're going to apply the pressure. You're going to be intentional about it. If it's a woman that you're like kind of like, this would be cool. This would be cool for a moment. You're going to play the long game because you don't really care. So if a man doesn't really care, you're going to know. He's not going to be intentional.
That's true.
It's more lingering,
Yeah. Just trying to be in the background just in case.
It's like that ex that always pops up after a while. It's like, she forgot about me. Let me just reappear.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a red flag. So
it's more like they're playing the field kind of thing.
Exactly. And women do that too. I think that's fine, but it's a red flag.
I'm gonna slide in a man's
No, just keep options open.
Yeah, I think it's fair for us though to do it.
I think so too.
Yeah, until a man is
super intentional.
Yeah, I think until a man expresses his intention of being exclusive with you,
you're
wanting to pursue you.
You are free to talk to whoever.
Yeah. Someone said, "What do you think about a guy that tells you to wait 2 years for marriage? Any advice on that, please?"
She just said you better leave.
Is it 2 years of you guys dating?
I'm guessing like, I'll marry you, but in 2 years.
It depends on it. Depends. I think.
Yeah. What's the?
How about if he's not ready?
Yeah, like if you're like teenagers.
Bye bye.
You know.
Bye.
That's different.
If you're young.
If we're at our grown age.
Yeah.
We don't have time for that.
Agreed.
2 years. What is it that you really need to work on for 2 years?
Yeah.
That you can't get married.
Yeah.
But don't say it though. But don't say you want to get married in 2 years. Don't even let us wait for 2 years.
Telling somebody to wait for you 2 years, I agree on that, right? But at the end of the day, a woman would like a man to have X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you put yourself up to that
Then don't
level.
say that you want to get married.
I agree with you on that part. But you might want to give that man 2 years, 3 years, and then let him come back to your life. But don't just have her lingering around for those 2-3 years, because then it's like, I owe you something, and what if I'm not there just yet? And it's just going to be that continuous conversation of when we're going to get married, when we're going to get married, I'm not ready yet. And it's like, I wasted your time, but in reality, I'm trying to build myself up for you, you know?
I think that, sorry, what were you saying?
I don't even think it's really long necessarily. If you're talking,
You don't think 2 years is long?
All right, like outside of the Muslim community, it's not long. You know,
I agree.
All your friends are dating for 2 years.
I agree.
But this is Hijabi talks.
So I think there's a lot of pressure because of the limitations.
Yeah.
Well,
in the different things like that.
That's what I was just gonna elaborate on. Is like, I think part of the reason why people kind of speed up that marriage process is obviously, you know, with Muslims it's a little bit harder with dating. You're limited on what you can do, if you guys know what I mean. And so that's why it's like you maybe give yourself a year and a half, 2 years max to get to know someone. And then you take that next step into marriage to make that relationship halal, you know. So if you're not Muslim, 2 years is like nothing, you know what I mean? People will date for like 10 years before they get married, because
that's crazy.
I know, but like that for them that's normal, and like for us we think about that, like 10 years. Yeah. Like how do you even do that? So
you know what though, I think we say just because they're not Muslim that's normal, but it's not normal.
It's not. I mean,
because you could talk to your non-Muslim friends too, and they'll be like, anything over like 3-4 years, if there's not a ring on my finger, what am I doing? After a certain age, if you're 19, okay, maybe. Yeah. But if you're like past 25 and a man is making you wait over like 3, 4, 5 years, it's not normal. I don't know.
No, that's true.
Right?
I also wouldn't. I think everyone should get to know each other for a certain amount of time before getting married. Yeah. You know, I know there's a lot of pressure and stuff. You can't fully know a person, I think. You know, like 8 months to a year. Yeah.
But you'll never really know someone until you move in with them, I think. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like they can put on a front for as long as they can, but the minute you move in, that front that'll disappear, and then you're gonna be like, who the hell are you?
I mean, she said, any advice on that, please? So I'm guessing she's in this predicament. I think it depends on how long you guys have been discussing marriage. But if he's just randomly saying 2 years, I think, like, what's the reason? Is he trying to finish school? Is he trying to do this? I think my advice for you, if this is like your man or like your person or just a person that, you know, you thought you were going to marry, you can say okay, but you should also let him know, listen, this might be toxic, but if something else comes up and I feel, you know, within those, because 2 years is a long time, you might meet someone new at that time. I think that it is fair for you to explore other options.
I don't know.
You guys should just break up at that point.
Huh? That's what I'm saying. If they're talking seriously, I'm just saying if he's just a guy that she's been talking to for a little bit and he's like, I will marry you, but in 2 years, then, like I said, like you can either be like, okay, I will agree to that, but I'm just being upfront. Be upfront. Be like, okay, and if you want to get married within like, you know, early or whatever, then you could just let him know, I'll do that, but I'm just letting you know if something else comes up, it is what it is. Single. I mean, some people say single until married, and I don't know. I mean, that's one way of like applying the pressure. Yeah, it is.
He's gonna think like, oh shit, if I don't get my shit together.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on age too. If she's 29, 30, 31, 32, 2 years can be a long time because maybe she wants to have a child. Age can come into that. So I think that's totally fair. Being like, okay, 2 years, but if I find someone else within that time, I have goals that need to be met, then I think that's fair. And if he doesn't like that, then they can decide to break up, or if they want to make it work, maybe it'll apply some pressure on him.
Yeah, and I think like, I don't know. What's the guy's reasoning for waiting for, like, if you have the means to get married and work on your goals while you're like, your wife is just going to support you. Like, I don't understand why some guys feel like they have to have every single thing ready before they get married. And I know, like, I don't know. I feel like if I was in that position and the guy that I was like wanting to marry tells me like, oh, I want to achieve, you know, XYZ goals, I'd be like, no, let's get married and I'll help you achieve them. Like, we'll do it together. Like, you don't have to come into the picture with all your boxes checked, you know?
I think with anything in life, not just marriage, but anything in life, you'll never fully be ready for it. You only will be ready like once you're in it and you find a way to get through it. Like, there's always going to be another barrier. You can wait 2 years and then in 2 years something else will come up. Like, you'll never be in the perfect situation. You just have to jump in and figure it out as it goes. If you truly feel like I'm just not in a position to get married, then you're not in a position to be dating. You should just
true
like, in a Muslim sense.
Yes, like,
same thing.
I just feel like if you're not, like, it does not take 2 years to get to know someone to know whether you're gonna marry someone, right? Like, unless it's like specific things like, okay, maybe we need a year to like plan a wedding, whatever. And those cases, long distance, but even in long distance, like, you can have conversations and know who the person is. You maybe the waiting could be like, we need to hang out in person before we can like see how we are together. And in that case, yes, maybe I can't travel until the end of the year and you're waiting a year. In those cases, like, yes, but otherwise if you are like it does not take that long, and if you're not in a position, then you need to be like, do what you got to do, and then be in the step into something that you're willing to move forward with. And like she said, like, you'll never be ready. And why is it not a conversation that you can have with your partner, that what is the barrier to you not needing 2 years, and what can, as a woman, help you in that? For example, if it's just finances, like, why can't we work on that together? Like, some women will say that, yes, I need like you to be rich, or I need, not rich, but like I need you to be like financially stable. And if that's her requirement, then you should be okay to wait 2 years because you're putting that boundary. But if someone said like, I need to be financially stable, like, I have a job too, like, we can work things out. Like, those are things that they can be discussed, and I don't think the men should put it on themselves to say that I need to have a house, I need to have this, and I need to have that. What if she doesn't care? Yeah. What if she doesn't need that? If she needs that, then she should be okay to wait the 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a great point. That's a great point.
Iman, do you have anything to add?
I just think, like, what's the reasoning for the 2 years? Like, is it just because he doesn't feel ready? Like, you know, I think there's a lot of questions we have to ask before answering that question. You know,
That's fair.
Oh, okay. Wait, she gave a little bit of context. She said, I have been with this guy since... Okay, she gave a little bit of context. I didn't see this. But she said, I have been with this guy since 2020 and don't know if I should wait another 2 years to make it halal. So I'm guessing, so they've been together for 2 years already.
Oh,
and he's I guess he's asking, let's wait another 2 years. So at this point, 4 years just for a nikah.
No,
absolutely not.
Do the nikah as fast as you can.
Cut it. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I figured that it was time before.
No. They can do their nikah. Like, there's not that much goes into doing that. Like, it doesn't really involve an elaborate. Like, you can save or wait to do the wedding. You don't have to have this big, huge, expensive wedding. Like, do your nikah in a mosque or at your parents' house or whatever, and then go about accomplishing your goals and dreams. I don't know. Like,
well, that also depends on like your family and the person's family, right? They might want to do a big nikah and create like a big ass wedding, right? Yeah. So in that sense, you're like, hold on, like, and nikah at the end of the day, to some people might be something small, right? But to other people, it's like, this is literally a marriage in Islam, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, you're like, I don't know if marriage is on the table just yet. I want to be with you, but there's some things that we got to figure out. There's some things we got to handle first, you know? What if that's on the table? What's best?
After 2 years, you should have finally figured it out.
Yeah, in the pandemic, bro, you had a lot of time to figure shit out. Like, as they should.
2 year mark time, like the time where you go through like that struggle phase in a relationship, right? So it's like if you go past that 2 year mark, you think that you can make it onward, right? Yeah. So maybe he's just trying to test to see, like, okay, we already been together for 2 years, maybe 3 or 4, and then after that, I could for sure know, like.
I'm sorry.
For me, it's a no. For me, it's a no.
If you don't know that is your person after 2 years, they're probably not your person.
Yeah.
The struggle years, I'm sorry, I don't need to be tested even more. I already made it through the first struggle year. Why am I still going? Also, based on what you were saying, like, I think it does depend on your family too, because there are people who do their nikah and just continue like they're dating, and not as like a marriage. Like, technically you're Islamically your marriage, but nothing in their life really changes aside from the fact that they're Islamically married. Like, you maybe don't move in together, you can still like go and visit each other's families and whatever, and just act like you're dating when it's just to make it halal. And if you need that time, the 2 years or whatever, to have your wedding and like make things more official, then that could be always be done too. It depends on the family and what they're willing to like accept.
Yeah.
My advice for you is to run. Oh man.
So that was just a couple of the questions that we got. You guys sent us a lot, so thank you guys so much. We always appreciate your participation. Did I say that right? Participation?
Yeah.
I'm getting tired. And I just want to do a special shout out to our lovely live audience today.
You guys are so attentive.
I know.
Yeah,
this was great. I hope we can do it again. We'll fly out to LA again. Just to do a whole episode like this again. And hopefully you guys will be on this side of the camera. Right, guys? And of course, shout out to my beautiful cousins for gracing us with their presence. You guys know what to do. I'm going to leave all of their details in our description on YouTube. Make sure you follow them.
Make sure you subscribe to Cousin Connection podcast.
Follow Aysha. Go get her merch. We're all rocking it, by the way. This is the new one.
Yes. Happy change because of the issue.
Happy looks good on you. Go and rock it. Part 2.
AyshaHarun.com.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on all of our socials. It'll all be linked below. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye. I hope you guys enjoyed that podcast. It was actually so much fun to just sit and chat and answer questions. So if you guys enjoyed it, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. And if you are just watching on my channel, be sure to head over to the Cousin Connection Pod YouTube channel. I'll have all the information down below so that you guys can watch the first part of this podcast / episode. I don't really know what I'm trying to call it. If you would like to see more videos like this, then let us know in the comments and maybe we will do some more Aysha Harun X Cousin Connection Pod crossovers. I also want to make this a discussion. So if there's anything in this video that you guys saw and want to add your 2 cents in, then definitely leave it down below. Obviously, it's all our opinions and we were all raised similarly, so maybe our opinions are very similar as well. But I would love to hear what you guys thought regarding the questions as well. Let's open up the discussion here. But I love you guys and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone. Mwah.